so it'll slide closed like this. This is a Bradford fence.
We did a project like this, we did in 3 days.
We're here. This customer had a side entry. They're on a corner, so the highway's behind us over here, and then their main road. But they needed a 20-foot opening here to pull off the highway and get in. And so they also didn't want something that was going to swing out toward the road or swing in this way. So they elected to go with a slide gate, but specifically, and if you remember on our last video talking about the automated slide gate, we talked about slide gate with a track on that video, and then a cantilever style, and this is a cantilever style. So I'll show you what's going on and how that's different. So just so you can see, this is going to be wood privacy. We built this frame to where we can put our 2x4s and pickets on to match the wood, but this frame has got rollers, and so this is 1/2 of what will be a double cantilever gate. So it'll slide closed like this. And then once we've got our 2x4s and pickets on there, it'll be private and it'll match this fence the way it's going to be. But with so the cantilever gate is different than that slide gate with a track, because one, you'll see nothing rolls along the ground. So everything is up off the ground here when it's either closed like this or open. And the way that happens is you've got the width of your gate opening plus a counterbalance back here. So that's the reason we've got 2 support posts instead of just one. This is designed to have a counterbalance to balance the weight and the span of the gate here. And then you got these 2 posts with the rollers. So you got these 4 back rollers that support it either in the closed position like this or in the open position here. So it makes for a good option if, like here, you don't have a smooth surface to put a track on, or you just don't want something running along the opening, and you need a slide gate. You can do a cantilever here. As you can see though, the only thing with the cantilever is you got to make sure that you've got plenty of room to open up to, because you've got the length of the counterbalance and the width of the gate opening that you've got to be clear to open this back. So sometimes you run into tight spaces or a corner where you don't have room to slide back. So you got to look at that and kind of your layout and make sure you've got the opening and the space to do a cantilever. But again, it's a great option to be able to slide and not have the hindrance of a swing gate. So that's here. This will get wood now, and we'll put in that other side, and it'll all be a complete unit there. You can see here, like we talked about, you need the space to be able to roll back and close for the cantilever gate. But also the other thing you need to keep in mind is how level your space is. So with any slide gate, specifically the cantilever gate, you've got to have a pretty level spot. So thankfully this is level to where we can roll back that way and roll back this way. But if you had a big incline or elevation change across your gate opening, it could make it challenging for a cantilever gate to work there. So those are things you need to take into consideration, and a potential limitation there, where in those cases maybe a swing gate would work better. All right, so we got it all wrapped up. I'll show you it in action. Slide this back to open that up. Slide this side back, open it up. You get this whole opening to be able to pull in. And the nice thing is he's on this highway here, so they can pull in all the way off the highway and still have room to park and open these gates. Whereas if we had to swing it, it would have had to swing out because of the slope of the ground. So a slide gate works really well here for this space. The limitation of a slide, we talked a little bit about it though, is that this is a great spot because from left to right, it's very flat and level, which you would need. So if there's much more elevation change than this here, then we'd have to do some dirt work or look at some different options. So close it back up. here. Latch is there.
We're here at the Conway Human Development Center, and we're just wrapping up this tan vinyl privacy with lattice. We've got a few more pieces of the lattice and top rail to put on, so I'm gonna show you what we got going on. I think I'm gonna have to get on the inside though with all our things. All right, so at this project, these two spots, there's two buildings that we did. All together, almost 500 feet of this vinyl privacy with lattice. We did a project like this, we did in 3 days. We set all the posts the first day, and then it took us 2 days to run our rails, put the pickets, and finish everything out. With this project, so all this was chain link, and some of the kids here were jumping and getting out. So for security reasons, they needed something more secure and to contain them. So they went with the vinyl for something more secure and to provide some privacy there. If you're doing a vinyl fence or looking for a vinyl fence for your own home, that there's different aspects that you want to consider and look at. Like with this particular fence, we use a 8-inch wide rail for our privacy panels, which gives it a lot of strength and stability. We also have a 5x5 post here, and it's a thick post with a very strong rail, so it's really sturdy and solid. But if you're comparing different products, there's products you can find at the big box stores or online that are going to be thinner material, smaller profiles. So you want to keep that in mind, especially when you're looking at pricing and just comparing things. It's not just a blanket like, hey, this is a vinyl fence. You want to look into how thick is my post, how big is my rail, how many rails are you going to have, are my pickets tongue and groove where they lock into each other, or is it just a thin cheap plastic that's going to be attached to the fence. We had to surface mount this post, meaning on the inside of this latch post is a metal post with a plate on it. That plate is anchored to the concrete, and then there's some internal brackets that allow us to slide this vinyl post over that metal insert, and it gives you a really strong post here that can be placed here where there's already concrete, and then gives us something to be able to latch our gate to. All in all, it took us a few days to do this with our crew. If you were going to tackle something like this on your own, to master the setting the post would take some time, where something that could potentially be several weekends of trying to figure things out and putting something in for your backyard would be something that we could come in and do for you in a few days and get it knocked out.
All right, so as you can see, this is a fairly large job. This is 1,200 feet of fence, so it's essentially a big square, about 300 feet on each side. In chain link, the typical post spacing is every 10 feet, but on something like this, this took us 2 days to set the post, and then another 2 days to run the fabric, do the top rail, and do all the ties. So all in all, something of this scale is about a 4-day project overall, working days. That also included us installing one large 24-foot cantilever gate. They, over the next year or two after they build their building, they're actually going to remove this, so they wanted something that could be pulled easy. So we actually did a no-dig system on this. If you'd like to see more on what we did here with the no-dig post, then check out our other video where we go in depth on the no-dig system. Okay, so here for what they were needing, this twist top was going to be enough security, but another common thing that you see in a commercial setting is to have the barbed wire, or even in some cases of higher security, needing to have a razor wire. So with this one, it just has your typical loop caps with the top rail coming through and then just ends right here. If we were to have barbed wire, instead of having this loop cap, you would have a barb arm that comes up and then slots for 3 rows of barbed wire typically that run across the top, and then that just deters people from climbing over. And then if you did razor wire, it's similar. You have an arm coming up, typically 1 or 2 rows of barbed wire, and then that razor wire attached to the barbed wire at top. Then down below, we've got our our typical tension wire. So this wire is pulled tight from end post to end post, and then it secures the bottom of this fence with the rings or hog rings that ties the chain link fabric to that tension wire. And then again at the post, they're tied off at the post as well, so it holds everything tight. And then up along the post, every 16 inches or so, you're tied in with our wire ties. Same thing across the top, keeps everything taut and tight, whether it's at the bottom or the top. Hey, thanks for checking out this chain link fence with us. I hope that was helpful. Make sure and like this video, it helps us out a ton, and subscribe to the channel for more fences just like this.